Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. My name is Wayne Supernova. In the last episode, we, well, this is happening. The situation just went from about, hey, we did it, to, oh fuck, in about 2 seconds. So, by the time that this episode releases, I believe I shall have uploaded the first episode of my second ever Let's Play of Eastward, an indie game that I was definitely looking forward to all throughout last year, and then they delayed it to 2021. And yeah, it released on September 16th. That's probably when I recorded my first session of Eastward. So yeah, if you guys want to support my continued existence in the Let's Play genre, go ahead and give my Eastward playthrough a look-see as well. I will be uploading an episode of Great Ace Attorney and an episode of Eastward on the same day. I think Great Ace Attorney will probably be moved to like 3 p.m. My time in Eastern time, and then Eastward will be the 6 p.m. time slot, either that or vice versa. But yeah, you guys are going to be getting 2 uploads from me a day for as long as it's sustainable. It's definitely going to be some growing pains, see what I can do. But yeah, that's going to be it for the intro / announcements. So yeah, let's get shot in the face by refusing to give this guy the disc. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. This may well be one of those things. Then again, it may not. I was gonna say, pull out your gun, bitch. Mr. Windibank. This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. No, point the gun at someone else other than yourself. Jesus Christ. Mr. Windibank, no. Alright, that's enough. Oh, it is. It's Mr. Gregson. Inspector Gregson? Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines, so we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. It would seem you have the upper hand. Right, you lot have some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. Petty? Mr. Windibank very nearly met with his end. Yeah, by his own gun, as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away! Get after him, lads. We'll whistle the beat officer, too. Sir! There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently, so we've fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in mourning. Oh, yes. I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. No, don't! Don't give it to him! It's mine, that is, mine! I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. And so, we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. Wow. So, we finished off the thing, didn't go far enough once again, and we get a to be continued right at the beginning of the episode. About 5 minutes in. So, yeah. That's fun. The unspeakable story is what they call this. So, maybe we'll get to learn about the case that Gregson's working on. See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and then take stuff away from you. Oh, really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What? Oh my, surely you were given that. Yeah, the D let me keep it, after I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have it, before telling me to scarper. Always pays off giving people a look like you ate them. I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc, mind. The music box disc? But Mr. Windibank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long hard stare. I think not, Miss Lestrade. We shan't enter Windibanks again today. Why not? That's not fair. Can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windibank. But that disc's mine. I had the ticket for this coat and it was in this coat's pocket. And there should be something else and all. That's what the Rotten Cove said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well then, that's mine too, whatever it is. Now she's really pushing her luck. Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Eh? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. No, Ta. Oh. What, would I come around your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? Such a tsundere. Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help but wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guest at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later too. Sorry? I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting! What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Miss Usado. Until later then. Well then, I think that's it for here. We have nowhere to go except for... We were asked earlier to show our faces here. I guess we go here? I like that little... I guess that's more of a terrarium than the aquarium that we had over there. It's on her little white bookshelf on the right. I like it. Ah, Susie and Bruno! Come in, come in! Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always? I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. Hee you'll never guess. Those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear, it is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news. Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea. Well, of course, they had such a great time hitting it off earlier when they met. It's like, oh, you pickpocketed me and stole my fucking smoke gun. Here's my smoke rocket launcher. Oh, I hope she pulls that fucking rocket launcher out again and points it at her. That's always the best. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Oh yes, that does sound like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Hurley? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. Yes, I see. Really? He behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. That's what I was thinking. The Ace Attorney writers have outdone themselves with the characterization and sort of the way that the characters play off of each other in this game. It's quite interesting. It's way different than a normal Ace Attorney game too. It doesn't feel quite like an Ace Attorney game. I mean, like, the mechanics are still there and everything, but the writing, the scenery, the way that the cases play out and everything, it's all very different, and I actually think I might like it a fraction more than the old formula. Just a little bit, though. I wonder where her real parents are. That seems like a... I feel like that seems like a testy subject, but I don't know. Maybe we'll learn at some point. What's the matter, Runo? You have ever such a funny look on your face. Oh, no, it's nothing. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes, you're wondering? Am I right? How did you... Oh, Runo, I can read you like a book. This girl is dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. Well, that's nice. I guess we will, learn some stuff about, her. So, by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right? Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although, after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Oh, hee, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh. And I chase after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Jesus Christ. I don't know if she's gonna show up now. She's kind of terrified of her, I think. Oh. There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow. I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. Oh, so she didn't steal it again. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley.
Ooh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited.
I just hope she actually does come. Well then.
I'm sure that you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you?
Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents?
My mummy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mummy passed away when I was born, and at around the same time, my father... Well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley?
Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together.
She didn't mention that before.
He wrote about them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there.
Really? He recorded them all?
So, you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases? Oh yes, I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it?
So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father?
Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest, but that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up and found your father's memoirs. Yes, so I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me that's when I found out the author of all those accounts was my father.
So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner.
I've practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean,
it must have done.
I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me.
Oh?
Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes.
Right.
Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved a case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day, it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he'd just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all his people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. What? It was quite a shock for everyone.
You can say that again.
You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study so that I could earn a doctorate as well.
Iris's father, who went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. That was our first case. Oh boy, I don't even remember your voice, dude. What? I'm supposed to remember your voice? Oh boy. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. That's right, visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University, and the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Miss Usato.
Yes.
Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time.
I think that would be for the best.
Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you.
Mr. Sholmes!
Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really?
Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed?
My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam?
Oh,
Never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. This is very peculiar. I feel like he might have an undiagnosed mental disorder. Unless he's just, acting. But it's kind of weird that he just forgets about he forgets about things that he should know. The case. He forgets about cases. He forgets our name. He just forgot what happened earlier in the day. There's something up with him mentally that they're planting hints about throughout this entire thing, and it's just now clicked with me that I don't think we're gonna get into like his disorder or his mental illness, but yeah, definitely in the next game at least. Never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows.
Oh, another music box disc.
No, not another disc, Mr. Sano. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence. Mr. McGilded's disc.
Oh my!
Then what's it doing here? At times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I may well be even more adept at larceny. That's not a good thing to say as a detective.
Ooh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'll be your pickpocketing assistant. And Bruno could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught.
Can you not make me defend someone who's obviously guilty? Right.
Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting. She could write all our menacing crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted.
I'm just gonna pretend this conversation never happened, I think. Well then. So what about this disc? I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this.
That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes.
Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken? If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. I'll be taking that whatever it is of Mr. McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. If it's all yours, Inspector. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes, you did, but I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars, like this. That's amazing! Oh, cool, so he made a mold out of it and then he made his own. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution. Ooh, science! Science food! Ooh! Ah, this is exciting. I like this. How extraordinary. Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press, and its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. Did you play it?
Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play?
Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not.
Goodness, you don't know, Runo? Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they slowly rotate it, making the different notes. The first music boxes used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. I remember those. These ones are different though. But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Oh boy, my voice loves to yawn when I don't get enough oxygen. Why exactly?
Because the discs are very easy to produce, and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result.
It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present.
But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem.
What do you mean?
As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another, and we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. I see. So that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe.
Every single one? That's Hurley for you, always taking things too far.
But, my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true, in the worst case. I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. That scar on his forehead is interesting too. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial,
the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case.
The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. I kind of wanted to ask Gina about that. Wanted to ask her if she was paid off or what. It would appear the case is not yet closed. Alright then.
Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before too long.
Thank you, Iris.
Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do.
I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Yes, you may be right.
Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Windibank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he?
Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe.
So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were incensed as I was. Oh yes, the idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Windibank's storeroom, gathering dust.
My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it, more secure than a bank's vault.
And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure?
Well, there may be the occasional mix-up, caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now.
Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting! The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it.
Susato, how did you know the full name of it? That's peculiar.
Ah!
Oh, what's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room?
Susie, what did you just say? You said The Hound of the Baskervilles. But how could you know the full title? Well, that's
because Miss Susato is just such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course.
But Runo, The Hound of the Baskervilles, has never been published.
What?
When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet.
I don't understand.
That's why he said that he'd keep it safe until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see. So that's why the manuscript is at Windibank's.
Oh, so that's why the manuscript is at Windibank's?
And yet, how could Susie here know its title?
Well,
Hurley, what's going on?
Ah! What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived.
Oh, how you doing, Miss Lestrade?
This was a bad idea. I knew I won't welcome. I'm going. No, wait, Miss Lestrade! We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris?
Oh, yes, just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home.
Yo, that's like a psyche lock moment, but this game doesn't have psyche locks. That was pretty much what that was. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some Mendelssohn? I won't take no for an answer. I have no idea what the hell that is. It sounds German. Meddlesome it is, then. Cat.
Meow.
That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes's violin performance was in no way meddlesome, and Gina, as we all came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves well into the night. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it?
Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine.
And I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes's violin even now.
Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face the next time we're in court. Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something, I wonder?
What's the matter, Susato-san?
It's about the telegram I received.
Ah, one that had arrived first thing this morning, I suppose.
I've been summoned.
What? Summoned? What do you mean?
The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Stronghart has asked to see me.
The Lord Chief Justice? When?
Tomorrow morning.
What? Then we have to start preparing at once.
Oh no, that won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone.
Alone? What on earth for? You won't tell me, will you? Oh.
I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow.
I don't know if I believe that, Susato-san. You're already hiding a secret from us. I don't know if I want to believe that you don't know what the matter is. Either that or you just don't want to tell me. What's this all about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. Oh, who could that be, I wonder?
Good evening, friends.
Ah, Iris. Hello again. Oh, hey Gina, how you doing? Need some place to stay, I guess?
And Gina, too. Yes, Ginny's gonna be staying with us tonight. She's gonna sleep with me. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh, what in particular? All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful?
Ah, you mean all those pickpocketing techniques. We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we?
I think I've awakened a natural talent. I could earn a living from it.
You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour?
Well, you see, I came to return this.
Really? Wait, what? That's mine!
Oh my, however did you... I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten. Iris literally is a child genius.
So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though.
Thank you. Whoa, I just got lightheaded there for a second. That was weird.
Alright then, good night.
Yes, good night. It was like my eyes started adjusting, and then like my head started vibrating a little bit, and it was like, whoa. It was weird.
So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Ginny? I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this. Yes, me too.
Wow, fuck you too. It seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. Of course.
I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript.
Yes, I suppose she probably does.
Iris, I I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time, please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all this is about, really, but... It's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This mental script, or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Jenny, but my daddy was Hurley's assistant once, his partner. Eh? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister?
Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though.
And Daddy wrote all of the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So where's your old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. So I've never really met him.
Oh, right. Come to think of it, I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. Yep. We'll do this, and then that'll be it for the episode. Iris, this Hound of the Baskervilles story. I take it that it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts?
That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow. From the other cases, I mean.
Oh, wow.
I don't really know, but it must be special in some way. Because after I'd written it and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that.
It pains me to have to say this to you after you've toiled over it for so long, Iris. But this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances.
But why not? It's one of my best works!
I'm not at liberty to say. Not now. So please, do not ask me.
Alright then, I won't.
But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank, isn't it? Can I just say that the music in the background is, like, fucking fantastic for this scene and this mood lighting and everything. I love it.
Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. It's mean, that's what it is, keeping secrets like that.
I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean.
Eh?
If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason.
I think so too. You lot are all too trusting for your own good. But he can't pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. What? Hurley's lying to me?
Maybe we will learn a bit more about what that means in the next episode. Oh, drama alert! Oh god, with a voice crack too. That's special. I should charge for that. Alright, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is getting good. This is getting spicy. I'm loving it. I want to keep playing forever. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.